Welcome to one of my sober thoughts. As I mentioned many times before, I don't drink 2 days in a row. A lot of times I don't drink, but every 3 days, because it's always good to have at least one day in between. Sometimes if I've been drinking too late into the evening, I'll take 2 days off before I drink again. And I edit in between. Or I do shit like this. And so today I'll just be drinking soda, juice, water, shit like that. And I'll be talking about Wanda from WandaVision. Better known as the Scarlet Witch, probably. And I thought it'd be fun to go back and look at the four movies she's appeared in the MCU before this TV series. She was introduced in Age of Ultron, then she was in Captain America Civil War, and then Infinity War and Endgame. And what I did is I compiled all the footage of just her scenes. And there's a little bit of like on each side because I would like start and stop and stuff like that and make sure I had enough on each side. So all told, what I compiled was 87 minutes. It's definitely less than that. Probably somewhere around 80 minutes, I would say. Approximately. There's no way to know for sure. But she had around 80 minutes of screen time over the four movies. And a lot of that's ensemble stuff, like fighting with other people. She maybe gets one line. There's some good scenes in here, but not all of it is like super, it's not just, her carrying a scene, for instance. But I thought it'd be interesting to go in and look at every single minute of every scene she's been in up to this point, just to get some clues about character and where they're going with WandaVision, where she's been, and how the character has grown over the four movies. And also, I remember at the time thinking that, there was something going on with her in Vision from the very beginning, from Civil War. And a lot of people are talking about, their relationship just came out of nowhere in Infinity War they were together and there was no clue of that. I don't remember it that way. I remember from Civil War on thinking those two were fucking. I don't know where people get that. It'll be interesting now to go back and look and see if I was right or not. Confirmation bias. I'm probably going to believe I was right. But we'll see the footage. You guys are going to watch it with me and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, I love this. He's going to. But you know what? Because they get ready to turn and the two twins are going to be gone.
They're not ready to take on. No.
Yeah, because like Strucker wouldn't send them out there. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't send them out there, but they're gone. So what happened was they heard the rousing speech, and then they decided to take matters into their own hands. They didn't even stay for the whole thing. They're like, okay, well let's get busy. Let's make this happen. So they're characters of action. But here's the interesting part. You'll notice here. Petrov is offensive, and Wanda is defensive. Petrov goes out onto the field. And he's attacking the people, talking shit. And actually, I love the character Petrov. I wish they had kept him alive. Hey, future me, just want to let you know that yes, I will be badly mispronouncing her brother's name. I think it's Petro, something like that. I don't even know now. All I know is it's not Petrov. And I'm going to keep saying Petrov, so you just got to fucking roll with it. Because I'm a fucking idiot. Even when I'm sober, I'm a fucking idiot. So, yeah, it is what it is. You just get to, I actually hate it when I know a character's name, like, for instance, Hermione. A character's name is Hermione, and they say Hermione. I want to jump through the fucking TV screen. I want to choke that motherfucker out. It really, really fucking bugs me when I'm intimately familiar with the character, and this dumbass doesn't know how to pronounce it. But hey, man, I ain't good with Russian names. Russian names are hard, or whatever, Czechoslovakia, Slovakia, wherever the fuck they're from. I ain't good with that kind of shit, and I was terrible at it, and so, what are you gonna do, What are you gonna do? Because he's cocky, he's a little arrogant, but he's basically got that Tony Stark swagger to him. I know there's a lot of Tony Starks because we get Doctor Strange later. I know there's a lot of characters like that, so maybe it was just too crowded for the MCU. But I do like him. I like him as a character. So I've seen this movie a lot, and he's one of the bright spots for me. So it is truly disappointing that they killed him off. But what I was saying was that Petrov, he's offensive, Wanda is defensive. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. She has a defensive mentality, and that sticks with her throughout the character arc. She never wants to take the fight to the enemy. She wants to retreat to a safe space. She'll defend herself. She will kill motherfuckers. She will rock and roll, and she will fuck people up. And if she's heartbroken enough, she will get vengeance in her heart and try to fucking mop the floor with somebody. That will happen. But her default is a defensive posture. Let me find some place to hide, and then I'll defend myself if somebody comes into my hidey hole. But otherwise, I just want to stay and hide. I'm not. But where Petrov, he will fucking go out and he will take the fight to the enemy. That's his mentality. So they're like a yin and yang in that way. These twins are.
know when I'm beat. You will mention how I cooperated. I'll put it right
There
on
she
the
is.
legal
She
human
stayed inside.
How many are there?
She'll defend her castle. But she's not going to go outside the castle walls unless she absolutely has to.
Do not engage.
It's so creepy how she comes up behind him like this.
I'm just gonna let them take it.
That smile right there is so fucking creepy and cool. That smile, like that's the best thing ever, man. It's so fucking creepy. I just fucking love it so much.
Talk. And if you're wasting our
Did
time.
you know this church is a
You see that? She's talking shit. I think Petrov, whatever. I think he brings that out of her. She doesn't really talk shit like that in the future.
Wondering why you can't look inside my head.
Sometimes it's hard. But sooner or later, every man shows himself.
Just her whole life. Apparently, she's just been inside everybody's fucking head. There's no real hint that she does that in the future. Although, you know, from one dimension, she's back to her old tricks, you know?
Stark's already got them turning on each other. And when you get inside, the rest of their head.
Everyone's plan is not to kill them.
And make them martyrs.
I'm going to pause it here. You notice how Petrov, he just wants to attack. Attack, attack, attack. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. That's what he's all about. She's more defensive-minded. You notice that throughout this film. It would have been interesting to see if his attitude had changed at all in future films. You know, because all the Avengers who lasted a long time, their strategies change over time, you know. Right now, he's just all about offense. He's not about sitting back on his ass, you know.
See the big picture.
I don't see the big picture. I have a little picture. I take it out and look at it.
Look at this. Watch this right here. This is
Lost your
crucial.
parents in the bombings. I've seen the records.
The records are not the picture.
No.
Pausing. Mark, you see that? She doesn't want to talk about past trauma. He's trying to talk about past trauma. He's open. He accepts the pain of the trauma, and he processes it, and he moves on. He's able to talk about it very casually. Now, he wants to get revenge. That's how he processes his trauma, but he has processed it. He can just talk. I can talk about it. Here's my trauma. Boom, boom. Here it is. She doesn't want that. She can't talk about her past trauma, and she doesn't want to hear him talk about it. She tries to stop him from talking about it. That's crucial. Because she can't, and she hasn't processed the trauma of losing her parents.
We're 10 years
Now look at this.
having dinner, the four of us.
She looks away. She
We
can't.
start
She
showing
looks away.
people
Look at the
the
body
records
language.
all
She doesn't want to fucking hear this shit.
big. Our parents go in.
If this was WandaVision, she would have
Our
stopped his
buildings
ass.
start coming apart.
You see, that's where I'm going with this.
Grab her.
She has
go
never,
over there in a second,
in the
so-
full run of her run on the MCU, has never been able to process her trauma, her pain. She ignores it. She pushes it away. She doesn't think about it.
3 feet.
Every effort to save us, every shift in the break.
Now, because of him, she's able to talk about it a little bit. Finally. I feel like if he had lived, he would have eventually been able to get her to get over her trauma, her various traumas. Like he probably even losing vision, you know?
But you.
I think the only thing that allows her to even like talk about that little bit she did there was the thought of revenge. Stark. That's what got her talking. Stark.
Hypnotize their pride.
He's the kind of person that she wouldn't be able to easily control. Yeah, this is important because we see in WandaVision, not everybody, she doesn't have complete control of everybody at all times, you know? Some people are harder than others. We saw it earlier, and this is another example of it.
You're one of his. What? I'm not. I'm not. You think I'm one of Stark's puppets, his hollow men?
I like how Wanda's just so quick to defend Ultron. She's loyal to a fault. She's very loyal to him, you know, because she can't read his mind, so she can't see his true intentions. But that's her first instinct. And again, defensive, right? See, he kind of sometimes jumps without looking. Very much not what Wanda does. And you notice how close she has to get to people here? I don't believe she has to get that close to people anymore.
Take special care. I doubt a human can.
Now she could probably be standing across from, maybe across town, and control people. It's possible she has a constant contact with almost everybody in town. Or maybe it's a thing where you got to inject him every 12 hours, you know. And of course, this proves she can't, control everybody.
Not a fan.
There are people who are resistant to it. Her brother's very protective of her. You know how, like, he carried her off, the kind of in his arms like that. Vision does that at the end of the movie. And I know her and Vision ended up being lovers, but I really feel like it was like a brother relationship at first. He was her replacement, her brother replacement. She's tough too, boy. She is fueled on pure vengeance, and nothing's going to stop her.
I want the big one.
Look at that, man. That's so fucking good, man. They don't show it. It wouldn't be. It would be the same thing we've already seen, right? So they don't. They probably filmed it, but it makes me want to see it. You know, it didn't take long. Like the moment she realized what Ultron had planned. I mean, she wants revenge on Stark, but she's not trying to kill everyone.
Could you?
How could I what?
You said
she's not down for that
you
shit.
would destroy the Avengers. Make a better world.
It will be better.
When everyone is dead.
That is.
They're seeing what they've done, and they feel compelled they have to do something about it, you know? It's interesting, though. Like, they would have definitely killed the Avengers. I believe that. So they're not goody-goody two-shoes. So I think they both do need redemption.
Please.
She gets revenge, and he doesn't really have time to.
What choice do we have?
Civilians in our path. Can you stop?
I like how they just take orders from him, and he just has that commanding presence, And she does want to kill innocent people. Like, I don't think she ever wanted to kill innocent people. She didn't feel like the Avengers were innocent. That's all. Here's another thing too. I talk about Petrov. He's offensive minded. Speed doesn't really lend itself to defense, if you think about it. In defense, you're kind of stationary. You're waiting for the attack to come to you. That speed doesn't really correlate to that. So it makes sense his personality is offense. Speed lends itself to offense. Tanks, jets, cavalry. Those are all offensive weapons,
She's not in your head?
I know you're angry.
No, we're way past that. I could choke the life out of you and never change a shade. Banner, after everything,
Damn,
there's
Bruce.
nothing compared to what's
You
coming.
don't know what's in there.
He's a little salty.
Go ahead, piss me off.
Damn, man. Really? Bruce really does have an action grab with her. God damn. Get the fuck off her. There goes her trademark jacket.
No way we all get through this. All they want is to live their lives in peace.
Now, check
That's
this
not
out,
gonna
though.
happen to them.
Now she's controlling an entire
We can do our
fucking
best to
town.
protect them.
So
We
maybe
can
she
get the
didn't
job
need to be
done.
close, or maybe she didn't realize that she could do it from further away. Also, it's a simpler mind control. It's just one suggestion. Leave. It's not, hey, I want you to do my bidding, or hey, go do this and do that complicated thing, right? It's just one word, leave. That could be it, too. I think when I'm not sure. We just gotta go with what's on the screen, right? I think she's just afraid, like, of dying. Like she's never been in a war before, right? So I think she's terrified. She's never seen this kind of action. I mean, she's fucked. She went up against the Avengers, which would be terrifying to me. But she's never been in. This is basically warfare.
It's flying. Okay, look, the city's flying.
He gives her a great
Army of
pep talk.
robots. Stand here, you're good. I'll send your brother to come find you. But if you step out that door, you are an Avenger.
They call that a field promotion.
Good shit.
That's a great pep talk. And what I like about it is there's like 5 to 10 minutes of screen time before she actually comes out. So she sits there, and contextually, we can assume she sits there and thinks about it for a while. Again, defensive. She's a defensive person. She's not this is more Petrov's area, Petrov's area, where he's out there doing all his fighting. She's not the person to go out and do the fighting, right? This is the first time she will ever do that. She's gonna come out and stomp some fucking ass. But her mentality is defensive. Her mentality is go into the fucking room and hide there until it's safe. That's her first mentality, right? This is all new to her. She's fighting against her basic nature when she comes out and attacks like this.
All right, we're all clear here.
And she needs that person to help her do that. I won't say a crutch, but she needs somebody to lean on. She needs that person to motivate her. Her brother, Hawkeye, Vision. She needs somebody to motivate her. So, like in WandaVision, I don't think that she's going to be able to get out of this by herself. I think somebody's going to have to help motivate her to get out of it. Maybe Vision. If he can, I don't know how sentient he is.
Get the people on the boat.
I'm not going to leave you.
I can handle these. Come back from
He is
the
so
middle
protective of her.
top floor. You understand?
You know, I'm 12 minutes older than you.
Go.
That's the last thing they will ever say to each other. But again, she's defensive. She's comfortable. Okay, I have to protect this core. I have to stand here and I have to defend. That's her comfort zone. I also want you to keep in mind something else. He came here to get her out of here. He came into this core room, whatever this is, a chapel, church, whatever. And you see how she felt it when he died, when he got shot. She felt that shit. So they had also because of her mind powers, right? I'm sure she had she had a connection with him for their whole lives. She could always feel probably a little bit of what he was thinking, a little bit of what he was feeling, and it's just completely devastating. And she just goes into fucking berserker mode when she hits that trauma level 10, we'll call it. So far in her life, she's had 3 trauma level 10s: her parents, her brother, and Vision. But I want to point out, he came to her and said, let's get out of here. She didn't go with him because she wanted to save the people in the town. Instead of being selfish, she chose to help others instead of being selfish. Keep that in mind. It cost her dearly. Being unselfish cost her brother. If she had just gone with him when he wanted to, they both would have lived. A lot of other people would have died, but they both would have lived.
If you stay here, you'll die.
I just did. You know how it
Exactly. When she has a trauma level 10 event, all she can think of is vengeance. It was with her parents. It was with her brother just now. Smoke that motherfucker.
felt like.
And then later we'll see it with Thanos. And what does Vision do? He comes to rescue her. Just like her brother did. That may be the moment she first felt that connection with him, because he rescued her just like her brother did. So now we move on to Captain America Civil War. Quick reflexes by Wanda, but then, of course, yikes. And she's completely devastated. She's not trying to hurt innocent people. I mean, that's obvious, right? Like, that's been a consistent through line for her character. She feels this kind of shit very deeply. Just one more trauma for her to not process and push in the back of her mind and not think about, right? Now, I wanted to pause this. I'd like to call attention to her room here. What we can assume from this is she's into music, which, we never get stated verbally as far as I know. She's got the guitar there. She's got the music book. I mean, that's very clearly arranged in the center of the frame. They want us to see that. There's some shit in the margins there, like you might be able to make some conclusions, the kind of artwork she likes and stuff, and looks like she has some lights strung up over her bedboard, kind of cute, girly type cute room with, and I assume, like in the Avengers facility, the bedroom also serves as their living room. Because like they've got the desk, they've got the TV, they've got, they can have company because they don't have a central living room for everybody. Like, if you want to go visit Wanda, you go to her bedroom, which is big enough to accommodate. It's not just like a hotel room, which I've had meetings in hotel rooms. I've had friends over in hotel rooms. It's kind of cramped. This is more spacious. So it's a living room and a bedroom. So that explains like the artwork and stuff like that. A little bit more decorated than you would have like a normal bedroom. Is my point. But I like the music aspect because leading up to WandaVision, I saw an article where they wanted because both Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany could both sing. They wanted the two of them to sing a theme song. One of the six or how many theme songs they're gonna have. Like probably like the '90s Friends kind of version of theme song or something. But they didn't have time to do it. So I think because Elizabeth Olsen can sing, I think they incorporated the aspect of her liking music just into set decoration, which is always great when you can imply things with set decoration you don't have time to state on screen. I just think that's cool. What's interesting about this, though, she is obsessing. She's watching the news. She's obsessing with the trauma, not hiding from the trauma. I find it interesting. It kind of cuts against my theory, but, she is developing, I suppose. She's trying to have more healthy coping skills. I do find it interesting. That's the first evidence we've seen where she does try to face trauma.
Liz, we talked about this.
I love this
The
here.
door was open, so I assumed
They
Captain
apparently
Rogers
had
was
that
the
conversation,
one who
right?
was alive. Thank you. Be right
He
back.
visits her a lot. That's the implication, right?
Use the door. Oh, and
I don't know how anybody can see this scene and not think that they're at least implying some kind of developing feelings. They were fucking! I mean, he visits her room enough that, like, this has become an issue, right?